Good day, everyone. My name is Mark Harris Lim, and I will be the assigned reporter for the Stakeholder Model. Before we proceed to my main discussion and synthesis, allow me to feature a video from a certain resource person.
Stakeholder theory is an idea about how business really works. It says that for any business to be successful, it has to create value for customers, suppliers, employees, communities, and financiers, shareholders, banks, and others, the people with the money. It says that you can't look at any one of those stakes, or stakeholders if you like, in isolation. Their interest has to go together, and the job of a manager or an entrepreneur is to figure out how the interest of customers, suppliers, communities, employees, and financiers go in the same direction. Now, think about how important each of these groups is for a business to be successful. Think about a business that's lost its edge with its customers, that has products and services that its customers don't want as much, or that they don't want at all. That's a business in decline. Think about a business who manages suppliers in a way that the suppliers don't make them better. The suppliers just take orders and sell stuff, but the suppliers aren't trying to make a business more innovative, more creative. That's a business that's in a holding pattern and probably in decline. Think about a business whose employees don't want to be there every day, who aren't using 100% of their effort and their energy and their creativity to make the business better. That's a business in decline. Think about a business that's not a good citizen in the community, that routinely ignores or violates local custom and law, that doesn't pay attention to the quality of life in the community, doesn't pay attention to issues of corporate responsibility, of sustainability, of its effects on civil society. That's a business that's soon to be regulated into decline. And think about a business that doesn't create value, doesn't create profits for its financiers, its shareholders, banks, and others. That's a business in decline. So stakeholder theory is the idea that each one of these groups is important to the success of a business, and figuring out where their interests go in the same direction is what the managerial task and the entrepreneurial task is all about. Stakeholder theory says if you just focus on financiers, you miss what makes capitalism tick. What makes capitalism tick is that shareholders and financiers, customers, suppliers, employees, communities can together create something that no one of them can create alone.
So what is a stakeholder model? Proponents of the stakeholder model argue that the company should be driven by the interests of their stakeholders rather than the interests of the stockholders alone. The stakeholder model is descriptive. It provides a language and concepts to describe corporations, the way they work, and their impacts on the wider environment. It describes the corporation as a constellation of cooperative and competitive interests possessing intrinsic value. Maintaining good relationships with the people who have most impact on your work, and it's all about communicating with each one in the right way, can play a vital part in keeping them on board. Or generally, the efforts that we are injecting in an organization would definitely be an important matter in terms of dealing with the stakeholders or key players of an organization or company. Stakeholder, according to Brummer, are those who have entered in a contractual or contract-like agreement with a company and those who are directly affected by corporate decision-making. The stakeholders include the stockholders, the workers, the consumers, the suppliers, the creditors, the competitors or members of government agencies overseeing the firm or in cases of legal jurisdiction and the functioning of government agents. Professional groups representing individuals within the company. Residents of local communities, in which the facilities or plants are located. It says that there are three values of the stakeholder model. That's normative, instrumental, and descriptive. The stakeholder model is descriptive because it provides a language and concepts to describe corporations, the way they work, and their impact on the wider environment. Every organization or company has an impact to its particular clientele or their particular target audience. Stakeholder model describes this particular impact as a result of the day-to-day operation of an organization or company. The stakeholder model is instrumental in that managing stakeholders should result in the achievement of business goals, increased profitability, growth, and sustainability. The stakeholder model allows also for the testing of the connections between managing stakeholders and reaching business targets. So in this way, it is collaborative and at the same time, it still targets the particular goal. The third aspect of the stakeholder model is the presumption that stakeholders have inherent value. As Donaldson and Preston explain, stakeholder theory accepts that stakeholders have legitimate stakes in the corporate activity based on their interest in the corporation and that stakeholders have intrinsic value. Decision-making within corporations should be guided by an ethical framework that surpasses legal obligations. Corporations who employ such a model make a positive social contribution by honoring the communities that support their work. Just for an example, in any kind of organization, say for a school, it's really important that there are employees, teachers, perhaps supply officers, or the backbone so that the governance and operations of the schools are being met. Likewise, it's important that we also consider parents as vital stakeholders for the school to implement activities relevant to their children. At the same time, community efforts are encouraged so that we can maintain an enabling environment to a particular school. Likewise, there's this government organization or agency that can have grounding rules, guidelines, and regulations so that the system would be guided and at the same time policies will be implemented in the particular school. Of course, organizations or funding agencies are also stakeholders of this particular school because their missions and visions are aligned somehow with the targets and deliverables of an institution or the school. And most importantly, the children. They are also important key stakeholders and the most important clientele of an institution. That's it for the stakeholder model. Again, thank you very much, and these are my references.